New Shade of Blue tuning in. And I brought a guest this time.
Hello.
Would you... I didn't ask what you would like to be called.
Just call me Dead Spider.
Okay, great name. I mean, that's always been your login name, but it sounds stranger when you say it out loud.
It is. It is a little weird. I say it occasionally on my streams, like, when I'm signing out of them, but, other than that, don't really say it much.
Alright. Well, me and Dead Spider here are gonna do something different. I love stories. Specifically, high concept stuff. The more convoluted, the better. If people look confused when you're explaining it, it's a good story in my mind. One thing I love to do is to just, confuse my friends and family with the latest bizarre thing I've read or watched. And I decided to lean into that for a bit more content than I would usually make. And also ease the burden on my friends and family because I can get all this out at once. Let's talk about Power Rangers for this first segment. Specifically, the Power Rangers comic Soul of the Dragon.
That one actually does sound cool.
Yes, it does. As some of you may have heard, the actor Jason David Frank, who portrays Tommy Oliver in Power Rangers, recently passed away. I don't have much details about what happened, do you?
It is a little, sad to hear about. A couple of months ago, he actually had committed suicide.
Ah, crud.
Yeah.
Didn't expect that.
We had found out a couple of days after he had died.
Well, that was a heavy note to start off on.
It is.
I might have to edit this out. Maybe push it to the back of the line.
Yeah.
But today we're here to have a little fun.
Yeah.
So, I want to tell you the story of Tommy Oliver's last mission as a Power Ranger. Canonically, as written by Boom Studios. Alright, this is a comic book that's been written by Kyle Higgins, illustrated by, I don't know how to pronounce this, Giuseppe Cafaro. Oh, and it was actually special, and Jason David Frank was actually a special consultant for this book.
That's actually really nice that they actually consulted him for it.
Yeah, I guess I can see it in the writing. Alright, so like I said, this is Tommy Oliver's last adventure as a Power Ranger. And he's been a Power Ranger for a long time. He has the longest stint out of any Ranger. And I guess for a brief rundown for the uninitiated, long ago in the 90s, Zordon, a powerful wizard who's stuck in a tube and can only manifest his head, realized that the Earth was in danger from a witch who lives on the moon. To prepare for this oncoming attack, he decided to select 5 teenagers, give them special weapons and superpowers and giant robots to defend the Earth against her. Now, when I say it like that, it kind of sounds like a really dumb idea, but it worked out. Alright, the thing about the Power Rangers is that they were just really good people, honestly. Plus, they were all martial artists, and they were already a friend group. So
it really worked out because if they just brought 5 random people, it'd be like the Avengers.
Yeah, the thing is, there was another comic where that happened. You see,
fun.
Yeah, in Boom Studios continuity, there was a Ranger team before the Mighty Morphin Rangers we know.
Very interesting.
It went poorly. There was kind of a problem because he pulled all of these people who were in isolation, great warriors and people, but when you put them together, they just clashed so hard, it was kind of hard to get them on the same page for a mission.
So like the Avengers.
Yeah, kinda. You had the...
Basically, take a bunch of people who have different personalities and don't know each other very well, and they're going to end up clashing.
Yeah, so we got the soldier from Vietnam who's struggling with post-traumatic stress, and then we have the draft dodger who's basically yelling at him for he shouldn't be there at all.
Ooh.
Yeah. Then we have the actual secret spy/assassin that he summoned for this mission, and the British drummer.
British drummer.
Yeah, and the British drummer and the Russian assassin kind of have beef with one another.
Did the assassin try to kill the British drummer's bandmate or something?
No, he's a professional. He only kills when he's told to.
Yeah, sounds about right.
And weirdly enough, the leader of this team, the chosen Red Ranger, she's a secretary at NASA.
Oh, that seems a decent role for the Red Ranger.
Yeah, I mean, she hasn't actually done anything. She's probably the youngest one there. But she's chosen to lead because she's the one that says, hey, everyone, why don't we give it a shot? I don't know why I'm explaining all this. This is not what we're here for. But I guess I'm just trying to justify the logic of getting these teenagers who are all in a friend group over adults who don't know each other.
Yeah. Well, other than, of course, Tommy, who, as some people may not know, was originally evil, but not by his own choice, but by manipulation.
Yes, that's where I was getting to next. You see, Tommy was not in that friend group. He was actually a newcomer to Angel Grove, and, well, he felt out of place to start with. Oh, and Rita, she spies on the Rangers all the time. Like, she knows who they are and where they live, and I guess Zordon has some sort of protection up, or that him and Rita have some sort of, war document saying what you are and what you're not allowed to do. Like, hey, if you don't come down here and kill my Rangers in their sleep, I won't go up there and blow up your moon.
It's also pretty weird that, she knows who, the whole thing about superheroes having secret identity is that their loved ones don't get hurt if the villain finds out who they are. Now, what's the point of the Rangers hiding who they are from everyone else in that case?
I think it's more like just it's really gonna mess with their personal lives as everyone expects us to suit up and do stuff for them kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna get a lot of badgering about why don't we, go out and fight crime or stop wars.
Like when Bulk and Skull realized who the Power Rangers were, they did not leave them alone.
Yeah, I guess they really didn't.
Because they kept on, bothering, oh, you guys are famous, blah, blah, blah.
I don't think it was like that. It was more I think Bulk just, literally worked for several Rangers for a while.
Well, yeah, I know he was, part of, a good bit of continuity later on.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't remember which series it was, but I know one of the series he was a security guard in one of them and made a few appearances.
That was Turbo, actually. And then he became a scientist assistant and in space. And then he became a bartender in space in Lost Galaxy. And then somehow he got back to Earth and was working for Jason during Wild Force.
Interesting. And I know Skull. You don't really see much of Skull after Turbo, though.
He showed up in Megaforce.
Yeah.
I mean, Samurai.
All I remember, biggest thing I remember from Skull was imitating Al Pacino as Tony Montana.
Yeah. Apparently he became rich and successful.
Yeah.
There are some theories that say he married Kim.
Huh. I do remember the scene where him and Bulk reunited.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so alright, so like I was saying, Jason, he was snatched up by Rita, brainwashed, and giving Rita secret power coin. The Rangers' power source are these coins that connect them to the morphing grid, which is where their powers and suits and stuff come from. I don't know how. I think it was explained in one of the comics how Rita came across the green power coin, but I can't tell you what it is right now.
Alright.
Well, Rita brainwashes Tommy, gives him all these powers, sends him to go beat up the Rangers. He does pretty successfully. But the Rangers are able to regroup and undo the brainwashing, set him free. His powers are weakened, though, after separating from Rita, so his powers are, on flux.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it gets so bad that he can only go out occasionally. And honestly, before that, they did that. There are a lot of episodes of Power Rangers where it just feels like they forgot to call Tommy.
Yeah. Where they could have really used his help.
Yeah, and of course that's due to the original Sentai footage where the Green Ranger just didn't show up.
Yeah. And then, of course, I know what he becomes after he loses his powers, and Zordon helps out.
Yeah. So I guess just to run down this history. So Lord Zed shows up, kicks Rita out. Lord Zed destroys the Green Ranger powers. Um, Tommy goes away for a while. Like, I'm not really sure what happened to Tommy after that. I assume he's still going to the school with the Rangers.
Yeah.
All right. But anyway, some time passes, and Zordon comes up with a new Ranger. The most powerful Ranger yet, the White Ranger. And there's this big mystery about who it could be. And I imagine it blew a lot of kids' mind to realize it was Tommy the whole time.
Blew my mind when I was growing up watching it.
Yeah, so Tommy is now the White Tiger Ranger. Before he was the Dragon Ranger. By the way, I think the Dragon Zord is still, like, off the coast of Angel Grove somewhere, just sitting at the bottom of the ocean. It was one of the few Zords that was never destroyed.
Yeah. Because I do also remember her going in, like, all the droids getting destroyed before they get the new ones.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, actually, I think Tommy orders the Dragon Zord back in the ocean, and that was, like, the last time we ever see it.
Yeah. And we never got to see it destroyed like the others.
Mm-hmm. Actually, now that I think about it, the others were evolved and then were destroyed.
Yeah.
Okay, but yeah, Tommy's the White Dragon, the White Tiger Ranger now. Okay, but but Zed and Rita, Rita comes back and she poisons Zed with a love potion, and then they get married. And they make a surprisingly effective team. Alright, so they carry on to actually defeat the Power Rangers, honestly. They do it by turning them into kids, actually. They turn them to kids, separated from their powers. Billy's able to, like, restore them. They go on this big vision quest to find the Zeo Crystal. One of the mini MacGuffins they have to go track down.
Which, if I remember correctly, the reason that Lord Zed looks the way he does is because he was just a normal guy who touched the Zeo Crystal.
I don't recall that element of the lore.
Because I know, like, that whole thing when Zordon breaks open, like, he turns into just some guy.
That's true. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. Like, there's a backstory for Rita where she was just a little alien girl who didn't want to hurt anybody, and then her grandfather, I'm not sure if they mean that, like, biologically, or that's what she just made her call him, snatched her up and, turned her into Rita. The Phantom Ranger did his best to save her, but he just couldn't pull it off. But yeah, so it's very likely Lord Zed was just a normal guy who had a really bad day.
Yeah, because I forgot which one it was. Power Ranger Space. I believe it was Zordon had to be broken open to save the world, and then his energy washed over everyone. Rita turned good.
Zed turned good for a while, I guess. The Z-Wave.
Yeah, Zed like just turned into some guy with a blue ascot.
Yeah, they actually may have undid that recently.
I know I did hear that the new series, like, that they're starting, has Rita as the villain again.
Well, I mean, I hope it doesn't go that far, because you actually saw Rita after the change. Like,
she was helping them out in Mystic Force.
Yeah, Mystic Force. That was her.
She was the Zordon of Mystic Force.
Yeah, she was the Mother of Magic or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I hope they didn't undo that.
Pretty, especially after we saw the Rangers from Mystic Force in that special.
Yeah. Also, apparently, also in I think it was Beast Morphers. No, wait, it was Overdrive. Apparently, at some point, Zed and Rita had a son.
Interesting.
So I don't know why the kid came out evil, or like
continuity purposes.
I don't know why he came out evil and why he looked like a monster.
Maybe from Rita's genes?
Well, I assume it had to be both of them mixed together. I mean, I don't think they're genetically evil. I don't know, maybe whoever Rita worked for, like, just had a backup plan just in case. Alright.
Yeah, I'm looking at Thrax right now, and he does look free. He kind of looks like he's wearing Spider-Man's mask. Mixed with...
Okay. Yeah, okay, so they actually do manage to defeat the Ranger, destroy the command center, just before they get their powers back. And as soon as they're celebrating on the moon, that's when the Machine Empire shows up, and Rita and Zed are like, well, we can't do anything about that, let's get out of here.
So they can defeat the most powerful people on the planet.
Yeah,
but can't defeat it.
Well, they are the Machine Empire, I guess. I mean, at this point, Rita and Zed are just 5 guys in a castle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I assume Fister could, like, whip them up some putties or something.
Yeah. And you still got Goldar.
Wait, no, they lost Goldar in the explosion.
Huh.
Yeah, Goldar and Rita's brother. Rito, I
Oh,
think
Rito Repulso?
Yeah. Yeah, they were...
For some reason has a whole different last name.
Yeah, they're the ones who went down to the command center to plant the bomb. Unfortunately, they didn't get out of the command center before it exploded.
Guess that's why you don't see Goldar very often.
Oh, they survived.
Oh, they just got lost.
Goldar lost his wings somehow, and both of them lost their memories, so they're just wandering around Angel Grove like, who are you? Who are we? Where are we? What's going on? And then they ran into Bulk and Skull.
Oh, of course they do.
Yeah, and Bulk and Skull are like, hey guys, yeah, we are your bosses. You have to do whatever we tell you to do. That's your job. And Rito and Goldar are like, okay, sounds good, boss. So that's their stick for Zeo.
And Zeo takes place right after Turbo, right?
No, right before.
Right before Turbo. Oh, that's right, because it was Zeo, then Turbo, because Turbo had a whole new villain.
Right, okay, back on track. I took a whole detour with the villains there. Alright, but yeah. So, even though the command center is destroyed, turns out there was a whole other better command center underneath the first one. And the Rangers are able to find the Zeo crystals and actually not just restore their powers, but upgrade them. So now Tommy goes from being the White Tiger Ranger to the Red Zeo Ranger.
Which sees him frontlining another team again.
Alright, so they fight the Machine Empire. They manage to destroy their leader, but in the end it was actually Rita and Zed who deliver the final blow to the Machine Empire.
Huh.
Yeah, they send the King and Queen a gift.
A bomb.
A bomb.
Sounds about right.
Honestly, it's kind of anticlimactic. Like, they're still alive. They're just disconnected from their bodies because they're robots.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, the Super Sentai version of Zeo, yeah, that goes to some dark places.
Well, Super Sentai in total goes to some dark places.
True. Yeah, like the Queen of the Machine Empire. Okay, so they have this little boy robot who's the prince.
Yeah.
Alright, he's just like this comedic background character in Zeo, but in the Sentai, he's actually forced to literally grow up. So he assumes this, like, young adult body. And he gets married. And they love each other very much, and then they produce a baby.
Okay.
I don't know how.
With himself.
Like, I guess she has like a forge in there or something, I don't know.
Interesting.
Okay, so, both the prince and the princess, I guess, are killed by the Rangers. And the queen is left there with her baby, willing to, well, basically, okay, she knows she's lost, her family's gone, this baby's all she has left, so she says, hey, keep this baby alive, and just to prove I'm serious, I'm gonna kill myself. Which she does.
Wow, that gets dark.
I told you so. But now the Rangers have this little machine baby, and they gotta figure out what to do with it. I think they send it off to space to be raised by a good guy.
Interesting.
But yeah, that doesn't happen in Zeo. What happens is that Rita and Zed drive around the moon in their camper of doom, and they just
Camper.
hand the robot prince a gift that also happens to be a bomb that blows them all up. And
Fair.
and yeah,
Yeah.
and like I said, the camper.
Interesting.
Yep. So they drive off in the camper of doom. They literally have like a mobile home on the moon. Yeah, and they're like cheering, "All right, we're back. The world is ours." And then they just never come back. Instead, what happens is that Zordon apparently gets bored of the Zero powers and decides it's time for something more extreme or cool or whatever, and decides to make all their powers car-based.
Turbo.
Yep. This is when we shift into Turbo. So
Literally, yeah. Shift into Turbo.
Yep, so... Alright, so it's never really explained why Zordon decides to dump the Zeo powers. Apparently...
I know,
Okay,
that was the one where Tommy got hurt. No, Tommy was in...
That was Rocky.
Rocky got hurt really badly. He was the Blue Ranger at the time.
Right.
And the movie was the first canonical Power Rangers movie.
Right. So, yeah, Rocky got hurt and he was replaced with a young kid named Justin.
Yep. And the kid somehow ages every time he morphs.
Actually, I think that has an explanation. Like, I think the Ranger outfits have, like, a template. So whenever you're morphed, you're basically condensed into that form.
Or stretched into that form.
Yeah, like, how do you think Doggy Kruger fit his muzzle in that mask?
True. Very, very true.
Mm-hmm.
It's also where, it was Divatox and her cousin, right? Or her uncle?
Divatox. Divatox. This, I'm not really sure if
Elgar?
I'm not even sure if she's a space pirate, to tell you the truth. I don't know what her deal was. But she was a pirate, and she wanted to marry this big rock monster guy. Yes, darn it. 1 second again.
Okay, Elgar was the nephew of Divatox. Who I actually have met his voice actor.
Oh, cool. What was his name? Arlo...
Derek Stephen Prince.
No, the guy. Divatox's minion?
Elgar.
Algar. I was surprisingly close. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, Rita wants to marry this big rock monster guy. The Rangers can't let that happen. Now that I say this, I don't recall why. But, Rita also kidnapped Jason and Kimberly, so they can't have that. Alright, so, anyway, long story short, Tommy's now the Red Turbo Ranger. And about halfway through Turbo, they decide that it's time for some new blood. So, Tommy and the other Rangers, I guess, decide to go to college or something. And they pass their powers on to the new guys.
Also very weird because, they did that with Mighty Morphin too, like halfway through Zach and, who was it? Zach and Billy left, right?
No,
Zach and Jason.
Zach, Jason, and Trini.
Zach, Jason, and Trini. Because I know Zach gets replaced by Adam.
Mm-hmm.
Trini, I don't remember her replacement.
Aisha?
Aisha, yeah. And then Jason's replaced by Rocky.
Right. So they go to the peace conference and are just never seen again. Like the world's longest peace conference, which honestly sounds appropriate now that I think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the comics, we do see those guys again. Like, they're still doing the humanitarian stuff, building houses and whatnot.
Yeah.
Trini and Zach end up getting together.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I know we don't see Trini much after because her actor also sadly passed.
Yeah.
But we did get to see her sister recently.
Didn't know about that.
Or her daughter. Her daughter recently.
Didn't know about that.
I think she's one of the newer Rangers.
Well, I guess that would push you to the front of the line. But yeah, so... Okay, so, well, the Turbo Rangers do their thing, and honestly, they fail pretty spectacularly. But they don't give up the fight. The command center is completely destroyed. Their powers are completely destroyed. They have no access to their mentors. And the only reason Divatox didn't take over the world is because the even bigger bad guy calls her up and says, hey, get up here. There's a big evil convention going on and attendance is mandatory. Alright. Oh, and it turns out the big evil guy looks just like that other evil guy she was trying to marry.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah, that's because they reused the suit from the movie. I remember being very confused by that as a kid.
Did he try to play it off as, oh, this is his brother or something?
Nope, they never brought it up. Actually, yeah, they did bring it up. Divatox had an offhand comment like, hey, you look like my ex-fiancé.
Huh.
So maybe that was good enough for me, I guess.
Yeah.
It was all I was going to get. But yeah, so the Rangers decide that even though they have no powers, they have to follow... They have no powers, they have no Zords, they still have to follow Divatox into space in order to stop her and the whole universal collective of evil.
Huh.
Yeah, and they do this by stealing a space shuttle. Thankfully, I guess the director of NASADA is what their space agency is called. I guess the director of NASADA spoke with Zordon or something beforehand, because when Justin shows up and says, hey, the Power Rangers need your help, he's like, okay. It just gives up this billion-dollar space shuttle to 4 random people. And I say 4 because Justin decided to stay behind.
Oh.
Yeah, he couldn't leave his dad, which kind of makes sense. He's only like 13.
Yeah.
Alright, so yada yada, stuff happens. The new Red Ranger is forced to kill Zordon in a last-ditch effort to destroy all the evil in the galaxy. Because apparently Zordon has just been containing so much energy that his death would just be like an instant annihilation wave.
Yeah.
Which maybe that's why Rita never attacked the Rangers at home. He said, "Look, if you take out Earth's only defenses, you know what I'll be forced to do, right?" I mean, that does explain why I didn't kill Zordon either.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the day is saved, and all the evil in the galaxy is wiped out for a little while. Like, I assume the Z-Wave had like a range, because evil starts bleeding back in. Of course, admittedly,
you can't have Power Rangers without the evil.
Yeah, but to be fair, we had to go to like the edge of the universe in order to meet that evil.
Yeah.
But yeah, so years pass, and Tommy is a teacher now, after a brief stint as an archaeologist / mad scientist.
Huh.
Yeah, apparently he was like researching dinosaurs and meteorites or something, and he accidentally created a bunch of mutant dinosaur people.
Oh boy.
Yeah, he managed to escape the island, I guess he rented or something, before it exploded. But he lost his partner in the process. And so I guess after he swam to shore, he decided it was time to get into education and settle down a little. So
yeah, sounds about right.
So he got a job as a public school science teacher. And first day on the job, he's assigned detention duty, and he had things to do, so he's forced to bring these 3 kids with them out into the woods. Apparently there's like dinosaur bones out in the woods for some reason that no one's found yet, but Tommy somehow knows about.
And I'm guessing this is where the new Power Rangers come along.
Yep, Dino Thunder. You see, these kids stumble upon the secret passageway that leads to Tommy's secret lair under his house. I don't know who's funding him.
Huh. Maybe whatever Jason got into?
Possibly. Alright, so they're in this secret lair, and they found these blue, red, and yellow amber stones. Apparently they're amber and not crystals, I guess. But they say, hey, this looks like a fossil. If we show this to our teacher, we can go home. So they just took them from the obvious pedestal they're sitting on. They end up making a break for it. They get attacked by these dinosaur people. Turns out they have powers now. And that's
and
what.
suddenly know exactly how to use them.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean,
That
to
has
be
always been the weird thing to me about the Power Rangers. Like they instantly, like I know, I understand the first five. You know, they instantly know how to use their powers because they're martial artists. But anyone after that, they weren't really skilled in any of that, and they suddenly like, oh, I have these powers. I know exactly how to use them.
a lot of the time, the powers are just. I mean, the knowledge of how to use the powers are just built into the powers. Like, there's no reason anyone should know how to pilot an alien giant robot.
True.
And plus,
Also, I
Billy.
like the movie a little bit.
Yeah. Also,
Cause,
Billy was
yeah.
the worst fighter on the team.
Well, he
He,
was the tech guy.
yeah, he's never thrown a punch before the first episode, and as soon as he morphs, he's suddenly a martial artist, just like the rest of them.
Huh.
So the powers compensate you to a degree. I think it goes along with that. There's a template I mentioned.
Yeah. Suddenly you get all the powers of all the old Rangers or something, or like the knowledge of all the old Rangers.
Yeah, or at least, hey, the original Morphin Masters were martial artists too. They programmed all these kicks and punches into the morphing grid.
Yeah.
I mean, you have the skills, just not the combat knowledge, so still be careful.
Yeah.
So yeah, Tommy finds himself as the new Zordon for these three kids because the bad guys are hunting them down because they want their powers. So Tommy brings them in and tells them how to fully activate their abilities. And apparently, I assume he designed these suits and weaponry because they also have morphers now.
Yeah.
I'm guessing Tommy and Billy were in contact because Billy's the only human I know of who was ever this into how the morphing stuff works.
Yeah. Well, he's the tech guy. He kind of has to know.
Yeah. And to be fair, Tommy didn't build all his layer and everything. That was actually the lady who runs the local juice bar.
Huh.
Yeah, I remember for the longest time while watching Dino Thunder, I was trying to figure out who this lady is. Was she a past ranger? And the answer is no, she was not.
Just
Apparently,
some person.
yeah, Tommy apparently met her. Uh, turns out she was very smart. At some point, revealed a secret to her. They started working on new Power Rangers.
Hmm.
Okay, so eventually, Tommy finds his own piece of amber that he somehow converts into a morpher and becomes the Dino Thunder Black Ranger. Unfortunately, his powers are faulty. I guess this is just a thing that happens to him.
Yeah, it sounds like Tommy.
Yeah, so he can't demorph.
Huh.
Yeah, so he's basically stuck in the suit for most of this, well, not most of the season, for a good while. But then they try to cure him, and they actually make it worse, because now he's invisible. But he is able to demorph, so take it or leave it, I guess.
Beggars can't be choosers.
Yeah. Okay, so they have a new plan to fix now invisible Tommy. And this time, they put him in a coma.
That's even worse.
Yes, it is.
But is he visible this time?
Yeah, he was at least visible.
Oh
That
my
part of it
God.
worked. Okay, so Tommy's in a coma. Everyone's worried if he'll ever wake up, and this whole time Tommy's having this vision quest where he has to fight all his old Ranger personas.
I think I remember seeing that actually.
Yeah, the fight between him and Green was actually pretty cool. It's especially since he actually loses to Green because apparently Green is his most powerful form.
Yeah, I was gonna say like that Green is like the most like is probably his most powerful because that's when he had the most strength. Like
I mean,
evil Tommy,
I
basically.
don't entirely buy that because we never really seen Green do anything more exceptional than any other Ranger, really.
Biggest thing we see him do is blow into a flute through a helmet.
Well, I mean, he did make a Kamehameha wave once.
Yeah,
All right.
he became Goku for a minute there.
Yeah. So, okay, so he loses that fight, but he proves his battle spirit and willingness to never give up. And apparently that's what this was all about. Because as a Power Ranger, he's never proven that before.
Huh.
Alright, so Tommy is brought back to life. He has his powers, and, well, he has his powers for the rest of the season up until he has to sacrifice those powers to save the day.
He always seems to be sacrificing his powers.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, okay, so once again, years later, Tommy is abducted by a evil shape-shifting robot, as you do.
As you do.
All right, but apparently he's married with a son now.
Huh.
Yeah, he's actually snatched right off his front porch. I mean, that kid must have been
Jesus.
traumatized.
Yeah.
Okay, so it turns out this was part of an evil plot to snatch Power Rangers and create evil robot rangers, and then mass produce them and send this evil robot ranger army out into the universe and conquer it. But with the help of the Ninja Steel Rangers and a few other, veteran rangers throughout time and space, they're able to rescue the other rangers, and Tommy's able to show off his new ability.
Is that when we get to see like that whole like mountain of rangers in the back, like that we saw recently?
Possibly, but
Because I think because that's I remember, like I said, I remember there being a special a couple of years back where they brought every ranger and even like CGI Trini's ranger in there, like without having actually someone play Trini.
no, you're thinking of Megaforce,
Yeah,
Legendary Battle.
yeah.
Yeah, honestly, I kind of consider the episode I'm talking. Oh, I forgot about the Legendary Ranger battle. But to be fair, that may or may not have been Tommy. Like, there's a theory that says these were actually like Ranger spirits, which is why they all vanished in that big explosion at the end.
Yeah.
So yeah, Tommy was snatched up by robots. He activates his latest gizmo, the Master Morpher, which allows him to cycle through all his old Ranger forms.
Cool.
In the end, he summons a restored Falcon Zord to catch the evil interdimensional arrow and save the multiverse or universe or one or the other.
Both.
Yeah, and then Tommy just gets back home and calls his wife Kat and says, "Hey, I'll be home for dinner." I mean, he married the second Pink Ranger in the end.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I forgot to mention he broke up with Kimberly broke up with him through a Dear John letter.
Yeah, since it was said that Skull ended up marrying Kimberly.
I don't think that actually happened, but you never know. It's out
Power
there.
Rangers is weird continuity.
Yeah. Actually, what happened in the letter? I recall Kimberly saying that she found someone else. In a comic book called Power Rangers Pink. Turns out she didn't find anyone else. She just basically wanted to let Tommy go, essentially.
Weird.
Yeah, let them do their own thing because she had to. The Power Rangers were off world, so like Zordon or possibly Alpha had to call her in for something weird going on Earth.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she had to. He was imbued with the pink morphing power, and was basically she had to recruit a couple of people. Like first stop, of course, was to go get Trini and Zach. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, so they got cool new Ranger outfits with a little pink, with a bit of pink highlights, I guess, and two ordinary citizens that she met while trying to rescue this town from, I think, Goldar. Apparently, Goldar went rogue and tried to be his own evil boss.
Sounds about right.
Mm-hmm.
Goldar seems like someone who tries to be independent.
Not really. Like they resurrected Goldar recently, and like the reason they brought him back is because he's the one villain who wouldn't betray them, the other villains.
Yeah.
So you gotta respect him. Gotta respect his fealty.
Yeah.
All right, give me one more moment. We finally reached the point where I can actually talk about this comic. Okay, so now we're at Soul of the Dragon. And we actually start at the high school where Tommy was working in Dino Thunder. Apparently he's been there for a couple of decades at this point. And we're reintroduced to him as he's being forced to retire.
He's got to be, like, old by now.
Yeah, he's like in his 60s, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, but apparently, he's like I said, he's not leaving of his own accord.
They're forcing him to retire.
Alright, yes. So like I said, Tommy's being forced to retire. Apparently they're shutting down his entire department. He was a science teacher, so I don't understand how you shut down the science department of a public school.
Yeah.
Well, Tommy's feeling a little... Alright, so Tommy's not feeling great about this, and he's not sure what he's going to do now. But him and his wife plan on working it out. Just gonna... she's also an educator, and apparently there was a field trip planned to Triforia. If you recall, Triforia is where the Gold Ranger came from, back in Zeo.
Yeah.
Which I guess is a good time to mention, the world is very different now. Okay, Space Patrol Delta has been established, and the Earth is now like a hub of alien activity. Not in a bad way, just aliens live on Earth now. They're out in the open. There's nothing weird about it anymore. But yeah, so apparently public school can just take a shuttle to different planets for field trips. I guess it's like visiting Washington, D.C. or something for your school.
Yeah.
Except it's a different star system. Alright, so yeah, Kat's gonna be away for a while, and Tommy's just gonna be left at home just contemplating his life and what he should be doing with it. But it turns out the world is not in great condition when Tommy's dropping Kat off at the spaceport. There are soldiers patrolling, fully armored and armed. Apparently there's been some terrorist attack and increased gang activity.
Interesting.
Yeah, so Tommy's just looking at this and he's thinking, did we actually change anything? Did what we do even matter? I mean, all those battles, all those evil forces and monsters we destroyed, and the world is like this.
Still going to hell.
Yeah, but Kat basically tells him to knock it off. We did amazing things. The world is safer because of what we did. It's easy to look back and think about all the stuff you didn't do or what you could have done better, but you gotta appreciate what you did achieve and what you have. And, she tells him to relax, have fun until I get back, and then we're gonna go on our trip and figure out what our next step in our lives are gonna be.
I'm going to guess he doesn't get to relax.
Well, she tells him that, she also says that their son JJ, she's going to tell him to call. She's going to tell him to call while she's on her way there. Because Tommy hasn't heard from him in a while. Turns out he works for SPD.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. But on another note, before Kat leaves, she also tells Tommy to go to the doctor. Because it turns out his back is pretty messed up.
I wonder what that could be from.
Yeah, his back has this cybernetic implant along his spine. And the reason his back hurts so much is because one of the servos is pinching some muscles.
Ow.
Apparently that's an understatement. Apparently Tommy's just been taking this for 2 weeks.
Definitely ow.
Yeah, the doctor fiddles with the mechanics of releasing that pinch, and Tommy's like, wow, that's actually a lot better. Yeah, so the doctor's like, hey, when was the last time you had this thing maintenance? And Tommy's like, I guess since I had it put in? And the doctor's like, you mean since the car crash? And Tommy's like, yeah, since the car crash. Turns out he was actually on an alien coliseum fighting some 6-armed monster.
As a Power Ranger or just as himself?
As a Power Ranger. This thing strikes him so hard it actually shatters his Green Ranger helmet.
Ooh, and that thing's part of him?
The helmet, no, it can be removed.
True. I forgot it's not like the new movie that came out a few years ago, where the suit is their skin or their muscle underneath them.
I think it was just crystalline.
Yeah. Well, because Rita's in that movie, her suit was inside her.
Yeah, but I don't think it's supposed to be like that. I think her suit was just broken.
Or she did it to herself.
Yeah. But yeah, what happened? Tommy was in some sort of Coliseum battle. I don't know what was going on. But, oh wait, never mind. It has 4 arms. My bad. To
4
be fair,
is still too many.
And 2 of those arms do have axe blades extending from the wrist.
Yeah, 2 of those arms are definitely too many.
Alright, so Tommy's knocked down. The creature is... the creature is mocking him, saying, is this all the famous Green Ranger is capable of? Please tell me I'm wrong. And Tommy gets back up and says, you're very wrong, and morphs into the White Ranger. We don't actually see what happens, but this may have been the battle. This may be the reason he stopped going on regular missions, because it looks like the Master Morpher is damaged. So we cut back to the present, and Tommy's looking over his old, what I assume is a high school photos of him and the whole team. There's a little safe in the corner that has the broken Master Morpher inside of it. So yeah, he's just looking at this, thinking about his life, and the phone starts to ring. And it turns out it's JJ. He actually did call. Yeah, and JJ's like, hey, you're still awake. And Tommy's like, it's only 10 o'clock. Of course I'm still awake. What are you doing? And JJ's like, oh, I'm about to head to this party. And Tommy's like, you're going out? It's 10 o'clock. You know what? Never mind. Doesn't matter what time it is.
He just like said it's not that late.
Yeah, so JJ's like, nice save, Dad, but I got a party to go to. Mom wanted me to check to make sure you went to the doctor's. Did you? Okay, great. All right. All right. Well, Dad, sorry I don't call more often. SPD keeps me busy and all. And Tommy's like, what have you been up? So, what do they have you doing? And JJ's just says, I can't tell you that, Dad. And Tommy's reaction is kind of surprising. He's like, really? You can't even tell me? Man, times have changed. So apparently SPD knows who he is. I guess at some point Ranger identities just get leaked or something. But yeah, so JJ just says, hey, Dad, my ride's here. I love you. Talk to you later. And he hangs up before Tommy can say, love you too. So there seems to
Kind
be
of sketchy.
there seems to be some type of tension between these two, but I think it's just like, I miss my son, he doesn't call enough. Kind of thing. Parents gotta let go at some point. So JJ heads out for the night, and he's immediately accosted by a gang of aliens.
A gang of aliens.
Yeah. He manages to fight his way out of the crowd and makes a run for it, but then a wall explodes, and then someone steps out and says, we're just looking to talk.
Yeah, that you should have probably said that before you started hacking.
Alright, so cut to days later. Tommy's picking up some things from the supermarket. He hops into his car, and then this girl just runs up, opens the passenger seat, and jumps in. Uh, so she hops in and says, Mr. Oliver, I'm, let me see how you pronounce this name again. Ariana, I think?
Like, is it spelled like
Anara.
Ariana Grande?
Now let's go with Anara.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. So this girl named Anara just hops into the passenger seat and says, Mr. Oliver, I'm a friend of JJ's. We were cadets at SPD together. I think your son's in trouble. So Tommy's like, why do you think that? Because I haven't seen him. I haven't been able to contact him. And whenever I try to ask the higher ups about him, they just screen me out. And
Huh.
Tommy's like, well, SPD keeps him very busy. And Arana has to tell him, but JJ quit SPD like weeks ago.
Okay then.
And obviously Tommy is shocked by this because he didn't know anything about it. And
Just talked to his son a few days ago.
yeah. So Anara is just like, I'm sorry about that. I thought you knew, but listen, JJ told me if anything ever happened, go to you, and you know what to do. And I believe he's missing. And and she said that she talked to SPD. So Tommy's like, you can't be suggesting that SPD is covering this up. And Anara's like, okay, go ask them yourself. Here's my number. Hopefully I'm just a crazy girl with boundary issues. But if not, contact me at this number.
Huh.
Okay, so then she leaves, and Tommy makes a phone call. And instead of calling SPD right away, he actually calls his wife instead, which is honestly the responsible move. He asks Kat if she's heard from JJ, and she says not for a couple of days. And yeah, he brings up what just happened, and Kat just tells Tommy to, okay, play it cool, don't lose your temper.
That's definitely not what you're supposed to tell someone after you told them your son's missing.
Yeah, apparently Tommy has some anger issues or something. Now they kind of treat him like he has a short fuse, or maybe he just has a short fuse when he comes to JJ.
Huh.
But yeah, so he goes to SPD headquarters, which is apparently in orbit in space. I guess he took a bus.
Huh.
And he meets with the commander of the okay, I don't remember what his role is exactly. I think he's like a commander or something. But it's actually Sky from SPD. The SPD Blue Ranger.
Huh.
Apparently he got a promotion. He's running the organization now.
That's nice. At least he's at a better position than actually fighting the crime.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, he was on his way to meet with the council leader, whatever that means, but, Tommy Oliver shows up, so he's like, he can wait. Yeah, so these guys are actually on pretty good terms. Apparently there was a huge space battle not long ago where Tommy, flew through several walls of the space station, and that's why they had to get the whole place remodeled, because Tommy doesn't recognize the layout at all. So yeah, it's guys like, yeah, you did get thrown through that wall. Good times, right? Do you ever miss it? And Tommy's like, of course I do. There's nothing like being a Power Ranger. Alright, but, okay, they get to Sky's office and they cut to the chase. Alright, so Tommy just spills everything. Hey, this girl named Anara showed up and said JJ's missing. Do you know anything about this? And also that he quit SPD. Do you know anything about this?
I would assume they'd know about him quitting SPD.
Yeah, so Alright, so Sky is, well, he says, so what else did she say? And Tommy sort of snaps and says, hey, what's going on? And he's like, hey, I'm sorry, but it's like, I can't tell you everything about what's going on here, essentially. My son's missing. What happened? He quit SPD. Why didn't anyone tell me? Why didn't you tell me? And Sky's like, I thought you knew, because, why wouldn't you? And also, it's not my job to call the parents of my officers and tell them what they're doing. Sky doesn't say that, but he probably should have. So, Sky says they don't know where JJ is. And Tommy can't believe that, because, they're SPD. They should know everything, I guess. But he's like, look, but Sky just tries to, sate him and say, hey, we're on it, we will find him, just don't do anything crazy, okay? And Tommy's like, yeah, okay, I'll do that. So, then he starts forming his plans to do something crazy. Alright, he calls Kat one more time to let her know what he's planning on doing. Well, and then Tommy basically goes into this rant about, hey, there's a lot I can't do, but this is something I can handle. Our son's missing, I can find him. You're not seriously going to tell me not to, are you? And turns out Kat's response is, of course not. I was just going to tell you to be careful with that. The morpher and all. And Tommy says, it's back for emergencies only, don't worry.
He's going to use a lot more than just emergencies, isn't he?
I'd say he only uses it for emergencies. Unfortunately, those emergencies just come back to back.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Alright, so he meets up with Anara, and apparently JJ's been leaking a lot of information about his case to her. Alright, so apparently JJ's been leaking a lot of information about his case to Anara. It's never actually stated what their relationship is.
I'm starting to think that Anara might be a spy or something.
It makes sense why you would think that.
Like, maybe she has ulterior motives, or maybe she's working with the enemies.
For now, all she knows is that JJ was looking for this guy named Maurice. JJ was very concerned about all the increased gang activity that's been going on lately. That's part of the reason for all the security back at the space station. Back at the spaceport. Yeah, and JJ thought he had a lead. He heard stories about, single gang members walking into enemy territory and then walking out without a scratch while leaving the opposing gang in tatters in their wake. So JJ knows something is going on, and he believes this guy named Maurice might have the answers. And Maurice has a usual spot at this, hole-in-the-wall dive bar.
Oh.
Alright, so they pull up to this place, and Tommy starts getting out of the car, and Anara's like, wait, what are you doing? I'm going in there. And Anara's like, what do you mean you're going in there? You can't just go in there, this is dangerous. But Tommy's like, please, do you know who I am? I can handle this. Just stay in the car. So Tommy goes into this bar, goes to the bartender, asks for a club soda because he's driving. If these Power Rangers are if the Power Rangers are still the way I think they are, then odds are he's never had a sip of alcohol in his life, which I respect.
I'd also think that, the Power Ranger, how most superheroes can't get drunk because of, their DNA breaking down the enzymes.
Yeah, but their powers aren't really in their DNA. They're linked to an extra-dimensional force.
Yeah.
But, okay, yeah, so Tommy takes a seat, and he starts immediately asking the bartender, hey, who are those guys over there? Do you think any of them know Maurice? And the bartender kind of rolls his eyes and like, "Sir, I'm not going to start talking to you. I'm not going to talk to you about other customers." And he's like, "Come on, I'm just asking for a little help." And then he slips him a 20. And the bartender's just like, "Okay, hold on a second." And he takes the 20 and he walks over to the people and he tells the people, "Hey, that guy's asking about you. He slipped me $20." And then he steps back as the group of thugs approach Tommy. So the thugs ask, "You got a problem with us, Slick?" And Tommy says, "No, I was just looking for someone and I was trying to find them discreetly." And the bartender's like, "Then bring bigger bills next time."
Oh.
Alright, so the thugs jump him and drag him outside and basically say, "Alright, work him over. I want to know everything he knows." So one of the oh yeah, by the way, this is a alien bar. So
Yeah.
one of these guys like shoots out tendrils from his wrist, wrap him up and start electrocuting him. And they haul him to the back alley where they start basically curb stopping him.
Oh.
But Tommy is able to reach into his pocket and pull out the Master Morpher and shouts, "Dino Thunder, power up!" Alright, he burst out of the coils, and obviously in his Black Ranger form. So the guys are like, "He's a Power Ranger!" And another guy is like, "He's an old man! We can take him!" And the one great thing about this book is that they really show how powerful a Power Ranger is compared to a normal person. He decimates these guys. So he knocks them all away, then grabs one by the head and basically demands to know where Maurice is. And so the guy immediately cracks and says, "Maurice is down by the docks. They're using a construction site. They're using a construction site for cover. This lady named the Witch is selling the stuff that's making the gang members so powerful."
Huh.
Like, Tommy didn't even ask for any of that stuff.
The Witch. I have a bad feeling about that.
Yeah. Alright. So, Anara's just sitting in the car, waiting for Tommy, and then suddenly everyone in the bar just starts running out for their lives. So, of course, Anara runs in to see what's going on. And she gets there in time to see Tommy demorph. He didn't do it on purpose. It was an automatic power down. And the Master Morpher is smoking as well. Anara
Because
takes
it's
a look
broken,
at
I believe.
Yeah, it is broken. Like, that forearm guy with the axes in his wrist.
He
It
broke
happened
it.
during that fight.
Yeah.
Apparently, Tommy hasn't used it since. But apparently, Anara's dad was apparently in the research and development sector of Space Patrol Delta. She knows about morphing tech. Yeah, so so Tommy actually just hands it over to her so she can take a look at it. And she basically breaks down what's wrong with the thing. It turns out Tommy didn't choose to use the Dino Thunder power.
Huh. But he said Dino Thunder.
Yeah, he knew it was slotted in, but that's because he can't change the slots anymore. Like, he's forced to use his powers in rotation, essentially.
And it's basically random at based on what he put it in what order.
Pretty much. Like I said, though, he can't change the order anymore. And also, every time he uses a power, it fries that power.
Ooh.
So, apparently the Master Morph was like keyed into a bunch of different power coins, even though a couple of those powers weren't linked to power coins. But I guess they made a power coin for the Master Morpher. But yeah, now every time he uses a power, the power coin gets fried. So, all of his abilities are a one-time use.
Yeah. So if he uses all of them, then he's done. He no longer can morph.
Exactly. Plus, apparently, being forced to power down is actually painful, because using a broken morpher is inherently dangerous. As we see in that one episode of Power Rangers in Space, where Adam came back.
If I remember correctly, didn't Billy make a morpher for him?
I don't think so. Oh wait, do you mean for Tommy?
Yeah.
I don't think so. Like, I'm pretty sure he got all his original morphers from Zordon.
Yeah. Well, the one that switches around, like, lets him choose whichever one he wants to use, has to have been made by someone else, right?
Actually, that was made by Billy, apparently.
Huh.
Well, that's what she's guessing, anyway. It was either made by Billy or Fairweather, who I think was the cat lady in SPD.
There's a cat lady Power Ranger?
Yeah, she actually became a cat ranger.
Actually, I think I used to have an action figure of her.
It was a one-time thing, but to be fair, if I was head of the research and development department of a Power Rangers faction, I'd make myself a morpher too.
But she had the cat ears attached to her suit, didn't she?
Kinda like the helmet sort of swept out into cat ear shaped.
Hmm.
It was actually a pretty nice looking suit. But yeah, so the Master Morpher is destroying the power coins, and apparently it also hurts a lot when you're forced to depower.
Actually, that outfit looks pretty cool.
Told you so.
Interesting
yes.
take on a Power Ranger. Reminds me of Celty from Durarara.
Yes. So, alright. So it's time to move on to the next plot point, essentially. They have a lead, and Anara's like, okay, where do we go next? And Tommy's like, what do you mean we? And I, as a reader, am like, what do you mean we? Like, she's the one who gave you this first lead. You drove her here.
Like, she's the whole reason you're on this mission in the first place.
Yep, plus you're her ride home. Alright, so it doesn't take much for her to talk him into it. Plus, after that whole fiasco at the bar, it's pretty clear Tommy's kind of out of his depth when it comes to, like, investigations. Because, Tommy was kind of a, go here, kill that type of ranger.
Yeah, he's more of a brute strength type of ranger.
Yeah, so Ornara basically makes it clear to him, hey, I know the streets, I know the situation, I know the people. You're gonna need me. Alright, so they go to the next police, and they find the construction site easily. They're sticking it out from above. Ornara is letting them know, hey, right there is Maurice. This is the Iron Raptors gang. They control the west side turf, and they've been trying to take more territory for the last couple of months. So apparently what's ever going down is probably going to be about that. JJ was right, apparently.
Well, like main characters or supporting main characters tend to be.
Yeah, so this is when we get a character building moment for Anara. Apparently her dad used to work in the SPD Morphers, but he always wanted to be a Power Ranger. But, he didn't make the cut. But he always hoped his daughter would make the cut. But even though she joined SPD, she doesn't really want to be a ranger.
Huh.
And honestly, to add an extra kick to the gut about that, her dad passed away a while ago.
Ooh.
So now we have, like, guilt and unresolved father issues. But she pushes all of that down because now now Maurice is showing up, pulling up in his car. The gang is kind of nervous, like, hey, you're late. Hey, you're late. We're, like, in enemy territory. You better have the stuff, man. Deliver what you promised. And this purple guy with no lips, like, he looks like a skull, except there's still skin on the skull for some reason. It's like the skin is, like, vacuum wrapped around the skull.
Seems a little weird.
Yeah, and this guy's Maurice.
Huh.
Yeah, so this is when Maurice says something interesting. He says the product comes in a few different variations. Black will make you stronger, yellow makes you faster, and pink's great all around.
Was that a little jab at the Power Rangers?
Not exactly. So the gang leader asks for a demonstration, and Maurice is like, of course. And he kind of calls out an associate. And the associate steps out and says, I'm not sure if you guys have any favorite colors, but I do. And JJ steps out of the shadows.
Oh, JJ's back.
He's holding a green crystal in his hand.
JJ's a Power Ranger.
He crushes the crystal, and yeah, he morphs into a bizarre Green Ranger suit.
That is cool. I gotta see this suit, actually.
Yeah, so apparently the thing that's been allowing these gang members to walk through enemy territory unscathed is bootleg Power Ranger abilities.
And JJ just decided to steal one.
No, he's apparently working with them.
Oh, so he's selling the bootleg Power Ranger, but what the hell?
Yeah.
JJ a villain?
Yeah, he's working with them. So Tommy's like, they're selling powers? JJ's with them? What's going on? Okay, look, we're gonna have to, we'll circle around, catch them off guard, and try to find a safe spot to isolate JJ and talk to him. And before they can execute this actually smart plan, some guy pulls a gun is pressed against the back of Tommy's neck. And the thug is like, hey, what are you doing here?
I found an online version of the comic just to see JJ's outfit. That looks really cool.
Okay. So,
I
yeah,
don't know
it
how to
does.
feel about the window on the helmet, though.
I don't mind the window, actually. What I'm confused about is, like, the Talon shoes.
And his hands changed, too.
But yeah, so on the rooftop, Tommy and Anara are at gunpoint.
Yeah.
Tommy tells Anara to get behind him, and then he shouts, "Shift into turbo."
Oh, boy.
So everyone notices the bright red flash, and then one of their goons just gets thrown through a wall. And of course, the red Turbo Ranger is standing there. Maurice shouts, "Get him!" And Tommy just zips around, just throwing guys with single punches, knocking them all out. It's kind of one of the moments where you're like, when someone tries to fight Superman, you're kind of wondering, what are you thinking? You know you're going to lose. It kind of feels like that. Although one guy does manage to sneak up on Tommy, but he's taken care of with a shot from Anara. Apparently she grabbed one of the goon's guns.
Huh.
They're laser blasts, so he may or may not be alive. It's hard to tell.
I don't think that guy's alive.
He's probably fine. Like I said, it's laser blast. Aliens are usually built pretty tough. I mean, the Ranger suits are kind of to put human beings on their level.
So Jason's basically mind control.
JJ, you mean?
JJ, yeah.
Yeah. Actually, after all the lower goons are disposed of, JJ jumps in with a left hook to his dad's face, saying, "You shouldn't have come here."
So he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, so Anara's, it's the classic, "Hey, you don't have to do this. Come to your senses, man."
While shooting someone in the face.
Yeah. Well, she is shooting at him, but Maurice over here says it's like, "You know these people?" And JJ's response is, "Used to." And then he sweeps Anara's feet out from under her and kicks the gun away.
This is so confusing.
One second.
Because does he know what he's doing, or does he not know what he's doing?
Spoilers. Alright, so JJ say, "I used to know them, but they've been holding me back for years."
So he knows what he's doing.
Just as he's about to finish off Anara, Tommy comes tackling him to the ground. And again he goes with the, "Come on, I don't know what they have you under, but you can fight it. Focus. Remember who you are." And JJ goes, I remember." And then he blasts him in the face.
Oh, so he does know what he totally knows what he's doing then.
Tommy's helmet was down, by the way.
Oh, God.
Yeah, he still has his face, thankfully. But
Surprisingly enough.
But he collapses to the ground, he can't get back up. JJ runs off, and the entire building collapses down upon them.
Ooh.
And Tommy blacks out.
That's gotta hurt.
Yeah, and he manages to regain consciousness long enough to shield Anara from the, again, collapsing building that they're inside of. They get out, and they manage to get out, but then Tommy collapses, screaming in pain. It's not because of the Ranger powers this time, it's because all this activity has made his cybernetic back apparatus malfunction again.
Ooh.
Yeah, oh yeah. Okay, it wasn't a muscle it was pinching. This device was pinching a spinal nerve.
That's even worse.
Exactly. Alright, but Anara has tech experience, so she's like, "Okay, I can probably figure this out." So she works on his back, and Tommy just starts basically beating himself up over what happened to JJ. Is like, "Is this my fault? It must be my fault. Like, maybe I was too hard on him. Maybe if I connected with him better."
Was JJ a Power Ranger in SPD?
No.
I wonder what he's doing, like why he's doing all this.
Yeah, that's what Tommy's wondering, because he noticed something important. During the fight, JJ hesitated. When Tommy was brainwashed and forced to do terrible things, he was aware of his actions the whole time, but his body never hesitated.
Oh.
So something's going on. JJ's doing this by choice.
Like, why is he doing this question?
That's what Tommy wants to know. Why is he doing this? And what did I do wrong? Alright, but Anara is able to patch him up, and it's basically like, hey, listen, it may not be about you, but it's been hard for JJ growing up in your shadow. I can kind of understand the pressure he was under. He may not have. It's possible he never felt good enough.
Yeah.
I don't know what that may have done to him, and our parents absolutely affect who we are, even if they don't mean to. But sitting here feeling bad about it isn't going to solve anything. And then she pulls out the crystal shard she found.
She's about to morph too, isn't she?
No, it's the same green crystal that JJ used. I think it's used up at this point. So she's like, we might be able to use this to track him somehow. And then Tommy gets an idea. So they drive up to another part of town. Just this simple, it's kind of like a townhouse situation. A bunch of houses, a bunch of 2-story buildings along a street connected to each other. He goes, I guess it is an apartment, just a 2-story apartment complex. He goes in, knocks on the door, and Anara's kind of concerned. She's like, don't you and this guy have history? And Tommy's like, we do, which is exactly why he's willing to see us. So, believe it or not, the person who answers the door is Finster.
Huh.
If you recall, the monster maker who made all of Rita's monsters.
Yeah, I remember him. Oh, God. Rita's
so
back.
He's just Finster. Apparently he's just been living a comfortable life ever since the Z-Wave. A lot of monsters just got vaporized by it, but apparently Finster was one of the ones who just had his morality converted.
So he's a good guy now.
Yeah, he's a good guy. He doesn't bring monsters to life or anything. He's dabbling in the actual fine arts now.
Maybe he wasn't like a created monster then. Maybe he was just from another planet.
Well, yeah, that's what I figure. Honestly,
Those the monsters that got vaporized were all created monsters.
Possibly. I mean, the difference between monsters and aliens has been pretty vague.
Yeah.
I mean, I know for a fact the Power Rangers have killed a lot of aliens.
Yeah.
It's actually kind of disturbing at some points. But yeah, so Finster's just living a pretty comfortable life, not bothering anybody, enjoying creating for the sake of creating. He's still a sculptor, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, and apparently him and Tommy are on good terms. Like Finster offers to make him a pot of tea, but Tommy has to turn it down, saying, "Hey, we're actually in a hurry, and I'm sorry to disturb you with this, and because this is unfortunately not a social call." And then he pulls out the green crystal. And Finster backs away, "Oh no, I don't mess with dark magic anymore." And Tommy's like, I understand, and I'm sorry, but my son is in trouble. Can you please help us? Is there any way you can track where this crystal came from, or what it is, or something? And, well, Finster can't turn down a distressed father. So, of course, he takes the crystal and casts a simple spell. He's able to, pull up an actual map of the city. Magically, I assume.
Oh.
And there's, a big red circle indicating where the crystal... Well, let me see. What does he say exactly? Yeah, he just finds the location. It doesn't exactly tell me... It doesn't actually say what he did specifically, if he was tracking the power signature or something. Yeah, he says the crystal has a powerful energy signature, so I assume he's just tracking similar energy signatures. Because if there was a radiation issue, then it would probably a whole trail going across the city.
Yeah.
Alright, but Finster also gives him a warning before Tommy and Anara rush off. He says, okay, this is very familiar dark magic. It's magic that I haven't felt since you-know-when.
Oh boy.
And it turns out Tommy would have the same suspicions.
I guess I did too. Because I'm starting to think that Rita... But how would Rita be evil again is the question. If that's really what's going on.
Yeah, Tommy breaks it to Finster, saying who's ever doing this calls themselves the Witch.
That's where I first thought it was Rita.
Yeah, and Anara connects the dots as well. They actually think that Rita's back, and how is that possible?
Because she was good and before this happened.
Yeah, they point that out. She's like she was given to a good guy, right? But Finster's like, it's been many years, and sometimes people who get a second chance only use it to make the same mistakes. Finster goes to his closet. Turns out he's kept one last piece of okay, he has one last gadget from his evil days, and he gives it to Tommy. It's a cube that's supposed to be able to like render Rita powerless if they encounter her.
Interesting.
Yeah, I guess it's like a magic suppressor or something. But yeah, but Tommy can't thank Finster enough for like sticking his neck out like this, and Tommy's just glad to see Finster doing well. And Finster feels the same way. I mean, Tommy taking something so horrible to happen to him and turning into something so positive.
Yeah.
Alright, but now they know where JJ is.
That's good, at least.
Alright, so there's this bizarre, like, cyberpunk structure surrounded by guards. Somehow they keep getting on rooftops to scope places out. Alright, so Anara's like, okay, so how are we gonna do this? And Tommy says, okay, well, the next power in the slot is Zeo. And Zordon told me that the Zeo powers only increase in power over time. Only get stronger over time. So Anara naturally asks, how long have you had these powers? And Tommy says, 20 years. So Tommy decides to go straight through the front door.
Oh boy.
In the meantime, Anara's going to go around back while Tommy draws all their fire. So Tommy just comes falling out of the sky onto a couple of thugs, just starts throwing them all over the place, trying to draw as much attention as possible. Meanwhile, Anara's headed up the stairs around back, and she actually makes it to JJ. Alright, and JJ's like, you shouldn't have come here, Anara. And Anara's like, JJ, we just want to help you. It's gonna be okay. And in response, JJ's like, help me? Are you serious? Do you not get what's going on here? I'm undercover.
Ah, fudge.
And Anara's like, what? But you quit SPD. And JJ, of course, explains, I quit to keep my cover. I was supposed to get as deep as possible, find out who the witch was, and then report to SPD so they can form a sting. And you guys just completely blew everything.
Ah, wonderful.
So Tommy arrives and is like, JJ, I don't know what's going on here, but we can help you.
Oh.
Okay,
That's hilarious.
So JJ says, Dad, I'm okay. He's undercover, and Anara's just, he's undercover, we blew the whole thing, Anara's just mortified, and JJ also kind of awkwardly says, I tried to tell you in the warehouse, but Tommy says, but you attacked me, and JJ says, I had to keep my cover, you threw a guy to a wall, what choice do I have? But the argument's broken up by another voice that says, wait, you're Tommy's son? Well, that's perfect, actually. And so, from somewhere in the building steps this black-robed figure with giant horns from her head. And she knows everyone there. It's like, her response is, it almost makes your betrayal tolerable. An opportunity to use the great Tommy Oliver and his spawn should be savored. So Tommy stands his ground as like, back off, Rita. Finster gave us a device that'll kill your magic. One step closer and I'll use it. And the figure's just like, ha, you always were the dull one, Tommy. Go ahead, use it. It won't affect me. And JJ's behind him saying, Dad, the witch isn't Rita. And the witch pulls off her robe, or maybe explodes off, I don't know. The art's kind of unclear on this one. But it turns out, of all people, the witch is Scorpina.
Wasn't she another one of the villains from Morphin?
Yes, it was. Scorpina was, she was one of those villains that was never really defeated. She just kind of stopped showing up.
Wasn't Goldar head over heels for her?
In the Sentai, he was. I'm not sure about the American footage. Actually, in the Sentai, they're married.
Huh.
Yeah, actually, in the last episode of Zoo Ranger, you know what Mighty Morphin Rangers is based on, it turns out Scorpina is pregnant.
Oh, really?
Okay, so yeah, turns out Scorpina's been gone for years, and, she's back now, she has magic, And Arana's like, okay, you expect him to believe you don't have any magic on you that won't be affected by this device. I find that hard to believe. And she triggers the device. This big energy beam shoots out of the cube. The whole place is covered in a smoke screen like in Dragon Ball Z. So, like in Dragon Ball Z, you know what you can expect here. So, Scorpina manages to get Tommy from behind. JJ and Honora start taking shots at Scorpina, but it's no use. She's too strong and fast. Tommy's already starting to demorph.
That was fun. Now he doesn't have the Zeo crystal or the Zeo point anymore.
No.
Which means that he's screwed.
Yeah, and Scorpina just waves her wand, knocking both Honora and Tommy off the building. JJ tries to tackle him to the ground, but she decides to bring him with her, and they teleport away.
What was that?
Alright, so, Tommy is able to grab onto Honora during free fall, and is able to cushion the fall with his body.
Interesting.
An indeterminate amount of time later, Honora comes to. Tommy's back is okay, because the Zeo powers apparently took most of the fall. But, Scorpina's gone, JJ is gone, and they are out of option. So, with no other leads, they decide to head back to Finster to see if there's anything else he can do to track him. So they get back to Finster's apartment. Finster's dead on the floor.
Oh my god.
Yeah, apparently Tommy shouldn't have name-dropped him back there. So, Tommy walks over to Finster's lifeless body, his eyes are wide open, just rolls him on his back and closes eyes. Closes Finster's eyes for him.
Jesus.
Yeah. Tommy doesn't have much time to mourn, though, because he notices something in the wreckage. Apparently it took Scorpina some time to kick the door down or something, because in the rubble, they find a Finster statue that Finster apparently had just enough time to bring to life before he was murdered.
Oh, God.
Yeah, so, the Finster statue, it's kind of, he's a little in and out of whether or not he's Finster or not. But, he knows he's been murdered, and this was basically his last... He knew this would be the last words he's spoken. He basically just wanted to say, hey, Tommy, don't blame yourself for this. We both knew our past would come to get us eventually. But you should know that Finster did more research after you guys left. It turns out the crystals... It turns out the bootleg ranger powers, they're from the Dark Dimension, which is ruled by an evil entity called Lokar, which is basically who Rito was working for. So I assume that's also who Zed was working for. I think there's like a chain of command. Honestly, I don't really know how the evil hierarchy works, but apparently Lokar is pretty high up there.
Isn't he also just a talking head?
Yes, he is. Apparently in the Sentai, though, he was literally just Satan.
Huh.
That was his name, Satan.
I remember seeing him once or twice in the show.
Yeah, he was that giant white head.
Yeah, he has the same colored faces though.
Yeah, maybe there is there is a connection there. But yeah, so okay. So Finster apparently nailed down what's about to happen here. So it looks like Scorpina needs to sacrifice someone to Lokar, and that someone's going to be JJ. But apparently it's going to take a few minutes to establish a connection, so JJ's going to be alive, they just need to get to him in time before he's sucked into that portal.
At least he's going to be alive. At least JJ's going to be alive.
Yeah. Apparently in exchange for JJ, Scorpina will be imbued with great power on a permanent basis, as opposed to the temporary power she has right now.
Ooh. Okay, let's not let her kill JJ then.
Yeah, so Finster basically says thank you and sorry one last time, and then the Finster statue dissolves. After giving him some last words of encouragement, saying that if anyone can save your son, it's you. So, but once again, they're out of options. They have no more leads, and they don't know what to do.
And he only has, 2 coins left.
Yeah. Okay. So, Tommy's taking this opportunity to once again beat himself up as why did I think I can do this? This whole thing was a fiasco. I probably got my own son killed. And honestly, I think Tommy's overreacting. He keeps talking like he had this really strained relationship with his son, but honestly, the relationship seemed pretty normal, if a bit estranged. But Anara basically says, hey, this is no time for a pity party, we gotta go save JJ. But Tommy doesn't know what to do, and then suddenly his cell phone starts ringing.
It's probably his wife.
Tommy looks at his phone and says, "I don't believe it." So, JJ, turns out JJ has a tracker. Like, he was able to, like, press a button to signal his dad, specifically, apparently.
Huh.
So now they know where JJ is. I don't know where JJ is. Like, I don't even know if they're still on Earth. It's a rock quarry, so appropriate setting for a final battle in Power Rangers. But the sky is orange for some reason. It might just be sunset. But anyway, so, Scorpina's just setting up some candles. She's, surprisingly enough, not gloating. So JJ's doing all the talking. He's like, hey, look, before you kill me, or sacrifice me, whatever you're doing, can you please just tell me one thing? How are you here? Where did you go? Okay, that's two things. But Scorpina just says, you're not entitled to answers. And JJ's response is, come on, you can at least give me that. And you gotta know that Scorpina's been begging to tell someone this story, because she immediately jumps into it. So what happened was that apparently the reason she disappeared from Power Rangers was because she thought, I can be more than just a grunt. So she decided to steal one of Rita's spell books, but apparently Goldar set her up or something. And by set her up, I assume Goldar knew she was going to be in there, so he ran and told Rita. Like the tattletale he is. Anyway, Rita caught her, Rita banished her to the Dark Dimension, and then she was just stuck there with Lokar for years upon years, just begging to be let free. But she didn't really have anything to offer. And then the Z-Wave happened. And then suddenly all of Lokar's evil forces, who he's been using to, like, make the universe a cruddy place, just on the verge of absolute victory for evil, everything was undone. Yeah, all those centuries plotting his evil schemes, getting his evil pieces into place, someone just wiped the board. This was Scorpina's opportunity to become one of the new pieces. So Lokar agreed, gave her new powers, sent her back to Earth, and gave her these bootleg ranger powers that apparently he can make. Just a bag full of crystals.
Further implementing that there's something to do with,
Zordon? Yeah, I guess
Zordon.
That's a good point. Yeah, so, the increased gang activity, apparently that was all Scorpina.
Interesting.
Yeah, she only, like, just got back, and, well, she's supposed to, like, spread fear and discord because Lokar feeds on that stuff. So, yeah, she was making deal with the local gangs, having them fight each other, spreading the word about her product, and now they're at the point where it's all going to come together. All she has to do is sacrifice JJ, and she'll get all the power she could ever hope for.
Huh. Why JJ specifically?
She just think it'll be cool to sacrifice the son of one of the Earth's greatest heroes. You think, yeah, that's a fitting sacrifice for the ultimate evil.
Yeah.
I mean, I would sacrifice the actual hero, but he's old now. But he's not going to taste good.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. So Tommy shows up, just strikes a pose on the scene in his white tiger armor. And honestly, this is probably one of the coolest suit designs. I really see that in this drawing right now. I'm not sure if you know this, but the white Ranger suit is actually from a completely different Sentai than the Mighty Morphin Ranger suits.
Huh.
Yeah, it's pretty cool how the design sort of carries over from the Green Ranger, though, isn't it? Like,
it is very cool.
Yeah, the White Ranger is like the second Sixth Ranger.
And also, still the same person.
Yeah, and also, you remember Justin from Turbo?
Yeah.
That was done first with Ko from the Super Sentai version of Die Rangers. So that's what they're called. Yeah, so the original White Ranger was this, like, 10-year-old kid. Again, supporting my idea that there's a Ranger template.
Yeah.
Alright, so, Tommy shows up, and Scorpina's not threatened at all. She's like, Tommy, you keep thinking you can just rush into a situation by yourself and save the day. You haven't learned at all. And I can't think of a single time where Tommy rushed into a situation thinking he could save the day by himself.
Probably more comic book continuity.
Yeah, Power Ranger is kind of synonymous with, a team, but I guess he's been working on his own for a while now. But yeah, Tommy points out that he's not alone. And I guess he points over his shoulder or something, because the camera shifts, and we see the Blue Centurion, the Shadow Ranger, the Red SPD Ranger, and a whole bunch of other guys with guns, including
Amazing.
Cat.
Cat even comes back?
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah. So everyone jumps into battle. Scorpina and her forces versus, well, I'm just gonna call collectively SPD. Tommy's putting out a good fight. Scorpina's starting to panic because, she's on the verge of success. The window's closing. We gotta get this done right now. Kat shoots her in the back while she's ranting and then goes to rescue her son. And of course, JJ's like, "Mom, what are you doing here?" And she's like, You thought you could go missing and I was just gonna stay off planet? You're crazy." They take the time to hug during this epic battle. Alright, Scorpina, refusing to lose, takes out the rest of the twisted power crystals and crushes them in her hand, all at once. So naturally, she gets really big.
Huh. Yep, make my monster grow.
Yeah, I don't think they have Zords this time around, though. And honestly, she's only like 20, 30 feet tall. Hardly worth bringing in a Zord.
Only.
Alright, so this fight just got a lot harder. And again, her focus is still on JJ. So she knocks everyone away, grabs a hold of JJ in one big hand, and is ready to just shove him into the portal herself. And this is when Tommy's White Ranger powers decide to conk out.
Fun.
So Renara points out, "Come on, Mr. Oliver, you got one more left. Only you can save JJ." And Tommy thinks, "JJ, catch!" And he throws his morpher to JJ. And I guess it's a good thing JJ was able to wiggle his arm free, because otherwise I don't know how he would have caught that.
The only morpher he hasn't used is the Green Ranger.
Yeah, so of course JJ catches the morpher and shouts, "Dragon Zord! Green Ranger power!"
Oh, that's cool.
Yep, and JJ becomes the Green Ranger. And I kind of like his line here. "Thanks, Dad. Yeah, Retro never looked so good."
And it's also kind of fitting that he became a fake Green Ranger earlier.
Yeah, it kind of is.
So it kind of was foreshadowing that he'd actually get the suit.
Yeah. Alright, so for some reason, instead of fighting Scorpina, JJ decides to take out the rest of the goons first.
As heroes do.
Yeah, and he does so easily. But
he's pretty young, so I think he kind of has more strength than Tommy does at this point.
I think that was the point. But yeah, before he can tackle Scorpina, her boss shows up. And he's basically like, "Hey, you promised me a tribute, where is he?" And Scorpina's like, "He's right over there, just give me a second." "Give you a second? You had more than enough time. You have failed. I will have my tribute right now." And then he starts sucking Scorpina into his void, back into the dark dimension, and do who knows what.
Just, I guess she was his tribute.
Yeah, he also takes a bunch of the goons with them, because I guess he's just a jerk like that. And then they all disappear, but not without an ominous last word from the big bad evil head. "And when I return next, it will be this world's end."
I'd love to see JJ take over as the Green Ranger.
Yeah, well, everyone's kind of shell-shocked from that. Apparently a couple of the goons managed to not be sucked into the portal, so SPD's arresting all of them. And I guess this kind of wraps up the case in a nice clean bow to a degree. So everyone gathers around for a big group hug.
Hell yeah.
Alright, so a few weeks later, Kat and Tommy are on a boat ready to go on vacation or something. And JJ's like, "Hey, are you sure you want to leave? I'm sure SPD will want you to consult or something." And Tommy's like, "Nah, I've been a ranger for so long. It's what I've defined myself by for so long. I think that's why I kept coming back to it. But I think I'm finally done with being a ranger." He's ready to let it go. He's ready to move forward instead of looking back. And he's excited about it instead of confused like he was before.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's proud to leave the world in the hands of Anara and JJ. So
I think he's not in his. I think he timeline wise, because he mentioned he had the Zeo crystal for 20 years. He should only be about 45 to 50, right?
Hard to say. And I'm just saying 60. I'm just saying 60 because there's this old man hero approach to it. Not quite as bad as Logan, but I think it was supposed to be implying that.
Well, Logan was 1,000 years old, so.
Okay, good point.
And he had vibranium poisoning.
Mm-hmm.
Vibranium adamantium poisoning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Anara says it was great to finally meet the legendary Tommy Oliver. But Tommy points out that the only reason, you can make jokes, but the only reason I was able to do what I've been able to do is because I've always had fantastic partners. And you're no exception. Hey, I really like that line.
Yeah.
Alright, so JJ and Anara are just on the board watching Tommy and Kat ride off into the sunset, and then they get a beep with their communicators. So it's time to get back into action. So JJ morphs.
JJ's the new Green Ranger.
Yeah, he's a green SPD Ranger with the Dragon Ranger shield.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I have no idea what his rank is though.
He's probably really high up if he's already doing undercover work.
Yeah, I guess so, but it's like the Rangers at SPD had like a ranking system. Like, red was number 1, blue was number 2, green was number 3. I think 4 was yellow and 5 was pink. So it kind of makes you wonder. So is there a Red Ranger he needs to report to, or is he like one of those solo Rangers that tends to happen sometimes?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the story of Soul of the Dragon.
That was actually a pretty cool story.
Yeah, I agree.
And a good little send-off for Tommy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was actually going to do the Mighty Morphin series because Soul of a Dragon is actually more of a one-shot.
Yeah. They may continue, like, it looks like they could continue it from there.
Yeah, they could, but I think I'm fine with leaving this here. The Mighty Morphin books have actually spiraled out of control.
Yeah.
I kind of lost track of it. After Shattered Grid and Beyond the Grid, I have no idea what's going on anymore.
Most of Power Rangers is kind of like what's going on right now.
Yeah. The only reason I can't catch up is because I can't find volume 11. And I can't just skip to 12 because then I'll be just as confused as I am now.
I'd say find it on, like, they have these, like, places you can read comic books for free.
Yeah, I know. I just want to complete my set,
Yeah.
Yeah, my original goal was to just talk about the original Mighty Morphin run, at least like volumes 1 through 4, I believe, but I figured that would take way too long.
Yeah.
I mean, this one has been going on for a while, to tell you the truth. I wasn't sure I could talk this long, but I appreciate you sticking with me.
Oh yeah, it's definitely a really good Power Rangers thing.
All right. Any final comments?
I kind of like that. They did the send off for Tommy as like the green or as the Power Ranger, like head Power Ranger, whatever, and that he kind of passed on the torch to his son.
Yeah, I like that too. I'm kind of confused on the actual timetable here, but I mean, I can't recall what year SPD was supposed to take place in.
Yeah, I do know that it was it before Time Force?
Technically, yes. I mean, yeah, either way, yes.
Yes, okay. And because I know they traveled back in time.
Okay, Time Force came from the year 3000, so I know it was before that.
Okay. But it came out after Time Force?
Yes.
Okay, I remember the Robo-Dog.
That was
because I used to have it. Yeah, I remember I had a toy of him because he was part of one of the Zords.
Yeah. I actually really enjoyed this book, although there were some, like I said, characterization moments that kind of confused me, like the whole, the relationship between Tommy and JJ seemed strained, but there was nothing really in the story to indicate that, except for Tommy's own insecurities.
Yeah.
But maybe that was the point. And I do like that just because the Power Rangers have always managed to save the Earth doesn't mean things are perfect. The world's still going to have its problems.
Yeah.
Especially since the Power Rangers weren't really about fixing those problems. Like, the actual suits and weapons and stuff were about defending against alien threats. Or supernatural threats.
Yeah.
Sometimes artificial threats. The point is, any outside force that wants to conquer the Earth, the Power Rangers were there to stop, and the actual work to make the world better was meant for the Power Rangers' alter egos, which I believe is fitting. Again, the reason Zordon picked these kids wasn't just because they were available in new martial arts skills. It was because they were genuinely good people who wanted to help the world any way they could.
Yeah, they were actually good-hearted people.
Exactly. Let's see, our D&D game is going to start in about half an hour, so I guess we can rest up before then.
Oh yeah, I need to get something to eat real quick.
Right. Would you like to, shout out your own channel or anything?
Oh yeah, so I've been a friend of Gary's for many, many years. He's actually he's one of our DMs in my D&D podcast, or not podcasts, like streams that I do. My channel is deadspyderplays on Twitch and deadspyderplays on Instagram as well for my cosplay stuff. decided to help out Gary with his channel, and hopefully we'll do some more of these at some point.
All right, hopefully so. I plan on making this a regular thing if I can get the process done right.
Yeah.
Well, if you enjoyed this, please come back. Please come back to my channel. Watch my ongoing adventures as I try to create my animatic series, Preternaturals, and check out my Instagram for my personal challenge this month of okay, well, I missed Inktober, so I decided that for the month of January I'm going to be practicing illustrating with these new marker sets I got for Christmas. And to make it fun for Chris,
Did Mia get you some?
she did.
Oh, that's nice. I know she does. I know one of her usual gifts for you. She gets you some art supplies.
Yeah. To make the challenge easy and fun for myself, I will be drawing monsters, basically creating my own bestiary for the next month.
Yeah.
Yeah, link in the description. I guess I can link your channel too, Dead Spider.
Yeah. But I don't have anything on YouTube yet other than my old A and Bs, but my Twitch.
I can link your Twitch, yeah.
Yeah. Which I'll be posting some more. I'll be streaming tonight for D&D most likely.
Okay. All right. Well,
all right.
I think everything's wrapped up, so A New Shade of Blue, tuning out.